Let's talk about what this group of buttons below each grid that we generate does. We have 9 buttons, but we have two sets of 4 buttons, U1, U2, U3, and U4, and then V1, V2, V3, and V4. In this video, we'll talk about the U buttons. This first row, U stands for upscale. So initially, with older models of MidJourney, the grid images would be generated at a lower resolution. So if I do something with V4, like, I don't know, let's imagine the happiest cat on the planet, and I'll use --V4. With V4, the individual images in the grid were generated at a resolution of 512 by 512 pixels. And then we could select one of them that we wanted to work with and upscale it using these buttons here, U1, 2, 3, and 4. And by upscaling it, it would increase the resolution to be 1024 by 1024. Okay, so our cat just finished, our happiest cat in the world, and this is with V4, just as a reminder, where the resolution is lower. These are 512 by 512 images. And then I could pick one that I wanted to upscale, basically make it bigger, higher resolution, and then also isolate it so that I could download it individually. Right now, I can save this image, but it's a full grid of all 4 cats. I could save that to my downloads, but usually you want to isolate one image that you like so that you can use it. And to do that, we have to click one of the upscale buttons. So the numbering here goes from 1 in the top left, then to 2, then 3 in the bottom left, and 4 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that I like this image the best here. It looks very happy. I want to upscale it so I get a bigger or higher resolution version. I will click U2, upscale image number 2 in the grid. This doesn't take very long usually, but it will take some time because for V4 at least, there's work involved. It is truly upscaling the image. With the more recent versions, V5, 5.1, 5.2, the initial image grids are actually generated where each image is already a high resolution 1024 by 1024. So when we click one of those upscale buttons with V5.2, for example, all that it really does is isolate the image. It gives us the image on its own, but it doesn't actually upscale it. So now I see a couple of buttons down here. We'll talk more about these later, although these are V4 buttons, so we won't spend too much time on them. But now I can save this image locally by right-clicking, save, or, well, I'll do that, I can click on this web button. And this takes me to the MidJourney website where I can see my image. I can then save it here if I want to. I can favorite it, so I have a whole list of favorited images where maybe we generate thousands over a couple of months, and it's hard to go through and view all of them, but I can favorite the ones that I like. So if I go back to my home here, you can see all of the new upscales that I've created. So these are upscales, as you can see right there. They're individual images. I can also look at all of the grids that I've generated. So here's all the handshakes that I did just a couple of was that last video. Here's the grid that generated my 4 happiest cats on the planet. Go to upscales, I only see the larger images that I upscaled myself by clicking an upscale button. Okay, so that's with V4. It does actually increase the resolution. You can see a little chart here that says version 4, the initial grid images are 512 by 512, then upscaled, they are 1024 by 1024. But with version 5 and beyond, they start at 1024 in the first place. 1024 by 1024 pixels, so upscaling them does not actually increase the size. And it happens very quickly compared to what we just saw with V4 because there's no real work that's being done. It's basically just isolating an image. So let's do a V5.2, just the default right now. Let me just make sure I didn't leave my settings toggled from, yes, okay, MidJourney version 5.2. I will imagine this time, I don't know, how about what should we do? The happiest fish in the ocean. Okay, so this is using version 5.2. I'll be back when this finishes. Okay, so, well, I guess we're still at 93%, but almost done. And I have this grid of my 4 images generated with V5.2. I can then pick one and upscale it. Let's take this one just because it's more distinctive, the color, so we'll remember it. And that would be 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is position 4 in the grid. I'll click U4 to upscale it. And this should happen very quickly because it's not actually doing anything beyond isolating the pre-existing 1024 by 1024 image. Okay, now I have this image, I can save it, same deal, right click, save image. Discord will ask me where I want to save it, or I can click the web button. I can even favorite the image from within Discord. Just click the website. It takes me to see the isolated image here on my on my MidJourney homepage. And then it should show up under my Upscales tab where I see this one image. So it's upscaled. I can also see the prompt, of course. And then I can see all of my grids where none of these, well, very few of them have actually been upscaled. A lot of the time I'll generate a grid and I'm not happy with it, so why bother upscaling an image? There are more benefits to upscaling an image though, beyond simply isolating the image so that you can save it. In the next video, we'll learn more about generating variations. In order to generate variations on this image, I first have to isolate it by upscaling it. So whether you're using V4 or 5, there's some differences, and same would go for V1, 2, 3, and 4. There's some differences in how the upscaling process works, where with V5, the images are not actually resized. There's no true upscaling. They're simply isolated. But it's still important to do that because once it's isolated, we can zoom out of the image, we can generate variations of different degrees of strength, and we can play around with a particular image once we have isolated it by upscaling. Okay, and just remember these buttons go from 1, 2 on the top row, 3, 4 on the bottom row, left to right.